Where did Kisara run off to?
You don't think she took off after Kelzelik, do you?
No. Miguel entrusted her with his dream. She wouldn't do something reckless like that. Right now, I think she just needs time to think. What she does from here on out is up to her. She has to be the one to decide.
We've reached our destination. We've reached our destination.
You all arrived here from Cislodia, yes? In that case, you should depart via the south gate, rather than the one you arrived through.
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renins have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going, I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to worry about, Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
Looks like it's time to go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danin lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Elda Menencia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service. No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renan lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream. All I ask is that you do your part, that you fight alongside me, not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Halim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
Doesn't matter. They try to get in our way. We'll take them.
Fire's attacked and course in
Grapple! Castle!
That freaking does it!
Demon Fang! Severing Wind!
Fall into the
Take it!
Take it! If they run you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Eagle Leave the chargers to me! Denied!
Gale Force!
No escape! Be still! Take this! This one keeps charging us!
That's what...
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
What's this thing?
Get lost! Fire's attacked and course in this blade!
Here I come! Okay, here I go!
Gemini Aqua!
Be still!
I'll smash you!
Here I come!
Eat this!
Okay, here I go!
Like it!
You picked the wrong fight!
Burning
I'll stop its charge!
Do it, Kisara!
I'm not done!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Talon Storm! Take this!
Dazzle! No further!
Talon Hurricane!
There! Go!
Take this!
Now!
Be
Mega Ray!
still!
Primed and ready!
Any injuries?
Little help! Talon Storm! I never miss! Justice!
Now I can
Not
let
on
loose.
my watch!
Talon
You're
Hurricane!
Fall into thy own
Take it!
Tear!
Leave the chargers to me!
I'm only getting started! Mega Ray!
Ah! Not today!
I'm on it!
Over so soon?
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
You're mine!
Shoot it!
Lightning thrust!
Hear me!
Damn it!
Glacial Spear!
You're mine! I'm not done! Strata!
Freeze Lancer!
Mirage!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it!
Take this!
Glacial Spear!
Mirage! Here I head right!
Take this!
Nicely done, Xion.
You're left! Step it up! Now! Gemini Aqua!
Everyone hanging in there?
There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Where should I cast my line? Okay, change of plans. Time to try a different spot. All right, once more from the top. Reel it in. Good fishers always keep their cool. All right, once more from the top. There we go. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Not too shabby, friend.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Viscint. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before, but looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Elderman and Sea Guard. So, in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me. We should be able to...
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Viscint.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
What was Kelzelik even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense, enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion!
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
I always love the sound of hammers banging away.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
All done. Come and eat.
You okay, Shion? You're not eating very much.
What's wrong? Do you not like the cheese fondue that you made?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you more excited about food.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. It's nothing like that. It's just...
What?
I guess I just don't understand what the appeal is. We could just as easily put everything on a plate and pour the cheese on top of it instead.
I suppose it lies in being able to decide exactly how much cheese you want. There's also something to be said for enjoying how it all turns out. It's fun.
That's fine and all, but I wish the plate-to-mouth time was shorter.
I think I understand. You don't like having to put in so much effort into eating something, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, now that I think about it, you're a way less fussy eater than you look, Shion.
In my book, there's no one right way to eat a meal. Tuck in, take your time, be dainty or devouring. As long as you enjoy the food, that's what counts.
There's no need to stand on ceremony while we're out camping in the wilderness.
Yeah, you're right. In that case, don't mind if I do.
I've never seen someone dump that much cheese on a meal before. Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Look sharp! Leave this with a shot! Time to jump! Get behind me!
I'm not so good with airborne targets. Ready!
Flying freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Strion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
This one's mine! Glacial Spear!
I can carve through armor!
Freeze laser!
This one's all mine.
Take this!
Eat this!
One more!
Take this! Win!
I'll take you.
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed walk.
Take this! Resonate with the earth! You're mine!
This one's mine! Make it rain! Going in!
Air pressure!
Glacial
Take it!
Spear! Going
Here's
in!
evil!
Mirage!
Freeze laser!
Take this! Tiger Blade!
Could have been worse. All right.
There's nowhere to run from my art! When he slows down, that's our chance!
This one's mine!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Tiger Blade!
No further!
Time to
Here I
shine!
come! Dragon form! It's time! It's over! Can't get out of this!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
I'm not done!
Glacial Spear!
Take this!
Evil!
I'm not done!
with the earth!
Time to shine!
Stalagmite! Here I come!
Piercing
You're
wall!
mine!
Back into the fray!
Win!
This one's mine!
Come on!
Tiger Blade!
Dragon form!
Fury!
Can you take now or never?
No further! Win! You're mine!
Begin! Take this! Tiger Blade!
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
I'm only getting the
Take this!
Tiger Blade!
Can't get out of this!
Make it right! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's done in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
I sense a strange power from this.
Only the best materials in your garments.
You really do. You have quite the discerning eye, Dohalim.
Yeah, they all kind of look the same to me.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the wood.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Bad feeling about this.
This one's all mine!
Right here! I got Art expert coming through! One more! Don't mind if I do! It's like trying to keep up with a wolf! This one's mine!
You got flyers!
I've got this! Let him mark this!
All yours!
Let them mark
The
it and
enemy
handle
wields
this!
arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
This
Prepare to be executed.
Actually, perhaps Baron is more appropriate.
Let's talk more duels. I'm expert. This one's mine. Not in your dreams.
Look sharp.
That's it. Tiger
Dragon
blade.
Swarm! Double Demon Fang! Severing Wind! Here I come!
Piercing roar.
Take this! I can carve through it! Ignite!
Tiger blade.
Can't get out of this!
By going in.
Take this!
One more.
I'm ready!
Blade. Reload.
Jolie! Take! Blow them away!
On guard.
You're mine!
I'm all stopped up. On guard.
Elusive deity! Here I come! It's over! Tornado Drive! You're on!
Flaming meteor. Ready.
I'll face you!
Tiger blade.
Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang! You're mine!
Your helping me has become a pattern.
Do it. It's for the good of all of us.
Is it now?
Wind! Shattering the
This one's mine.
Attack time!
Flaming meteor.
This one's all mine! Elusive
Let
deity!
the marksman handle this.
Dragon Swarm! Take this! Double Demon Fang!
Make it rain! Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
This one will be difficult to predict.
I'm only getting started. Tiger blade. I'll heal you all.
Wind!
On guard. Airborne beast. My set. Tiger blade. Healing. Flame of fury.
Here I come! Strike!
Ready.
Look sharp!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Tiger blade.
Here I come!
Glacial spear.
I'm not done!
Anything in armor is all mine. This one's mine. Going in.
Here I come!
Going in. Burning.
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine.
Double Demon Fang!
I'm ready. Tiger blade.
This one's all mine! deity!
Going in. Glacial
You're
spear.
mine!
Piercing
Melody!
roar.
Severing Wind!
Let the
Here I
marksman
come.
handle this. That's it. I'm never fit.
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the front.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Megasonic Thrust!
Tiger blade.
Double Demon Fang!
Flaming meteor. Do it.
Elusive deity!
Get toasty.
Burn Strike!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
This one will be difficult to predict.
In a bind?
Here goes!
Like moths to the flame! Now you see what I can do!
Confiscated! It's a duel of the arts!
Here I come!
Pesky airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for yours truly! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. A
Leave the
merry
enemy's
distraction.
arcs to me. There's still more to go.
No complaints here! No escape!
This one's mine.
Burn!
This one's mine. Annihilation.
Taking pile driver! Severing Wind!
Take this.
Taking pile driver!
Going in. Take this. Confiscated.
Elusive deity!
Those are impressive skills.
Like a lifetime semester.
No, just training.
So that's how a Lord fights.
I don't think...
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis.
Denied! Now you see what I can do! Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver! Dragon Swarm! Megasonic Thrust! One more! Half through it together!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
It'll take more than that to break my shield.
Take dependable collapse.
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Dragon
This one is mine.
Double demon fang!
Here goes!
Look sharp.
Not on my watch! Primed and ready! This one's mine!
On your... Here I come!
Piercing roar.
An astral art?
That's my cue! Freeze! Do it!
Shut him down!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go!
This one is mine.
Shattering the pieces! Attack us!
Make it rain.
Long! Hey! Blow them away!
Glacial Spear!
This one is mine.
Dragon form!
Tiger Blade.
Demon fang! Enough! Elusive deity! I'll save you!
Here, do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
I'll clear the way through.
I've got your back.
Still out! Ignite!
On your
Tiger Blade.
I never miss! Art Seal! There! Confiscate! Have this! Searing Flame! I'm out of ammo! Going in!
Come one, come all!
Can't get out of this.
Going in!
Take this!
Here, let me help!
Tiger Blade.
I'll smash you! Elusive deity!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Malisa.
Annihilation! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that thing.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
This one's
Resonate with the earth!
This one's mine.
On your...
Tiger Blade.
Dragon form! Pierce! Wind!
Look sharp.
Escape!
I'm gone.
Mirage!
One more. Tiger Blade.
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Being interrupted.
Far enough.
Art Expert coming through!
Here I come!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here I go!
Dragon
Flaming
form!
meteor.
Try harder!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Oh, this looks nice and tough.
more Danon ruins here too, You see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Bad feeling about this.
No further!
Look sharp! One more!
Ignite!
Freeze ray! This one's mine! Conjugate! This one's mine! Hunting lab! Tiger blade! Give it a whirl!
Elusive deity!
This one's mine! Radiant
Elusive
Pierce!
deity!
Do it! Going in!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go!
Double Phoenix Fang!
Tiger blade! Gemini Aqua!
It's over! Begin!
Radiant Pierce! On guard!
Severing
This
Blade!
one's mine!
You're mine!
Tiger blade!
Severing Blade! You're mine! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Take it! I'm ready!
Dragon Sword! Eat dirt!
This one's mine!
This calls for a celebratory drink.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Double Demon Fang!
Look sharp! Nothing gets by me!
It's go time!
On guard!
I can carve through armor!
That's it!
Elusive deity!
Look sharp!
Don't mind if I do.
Here I go!
Double Demon Fang! Raining Slap!
This one's
Here I
mine!
come!
Throbs in pain.
This one's mine!
Double Demon Fang!
Look sharp!
Hurricane Thrust!
This one's mine!
Take this! This time!
Another incantation ruined.
You picked the wrong fight! Take
Make
this!
it rain!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. A merry distraction.
Look sharp!
There's still more to go!
You're mine!
This one's mine!
Here I come! I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
It'll take more than that to break my shield!
Dependable collapse.
Swordsman Alpha!
I never miss!
Here I come!
Shattering Tiger blade!
Attack time! Double Demon Fang!
Here
I'm
goes!
ready!
Lock! Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
Here, let me help!
Look sharp!
First aid!
Look sharp!
Dragon Sword!
Going in! shot!
Mega Ray! Confiscate!
Elusive flame! Ha! In a vine?
Hear me! Flame of
No
fury!
escape!
Burning strike! Glacial
It's
spear!
over.
Pierce evil!
I'm ready!
Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long shot! Go time!
Flame!
I can carve through armor!
I'm out of ammo!
This
I
one's
never
all mine.
miss!
I can feel my precision improving.
It'll take more than that to break my shield!
Dependable to the last.
Not so fast! A debut performance!
Going in!
Dragon
Here I
Swarm!
go!
Megasonic Thrust! You're mine!
Annihilation! Mega Ray! Back into the fray!
It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Hear me! Flame of terror! Burning
Take
strike!
this!
Going in!
I'm not
Hear me! Flame of terror! Burning strike! Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Far enough!
I'll fly you into
Freeze
dust!
Lancer!
Take this! You're finished! Take this! Now they see what I can do!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Deity!
Do it!
One more! In an instant! Impact Claw!
We work well together, like a finely timed waltz.
Again! This one's
Can't get
mine.
out of this!
Mega Ray!
That's it! A Tiger
I
Blade!
never miss!
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! I still got a ways to go! No choice! Resonate with the earth! Ignite!
One more!
One more!
Tiger Blade! By the power of the Niez! Tiger Blade!
You're mine! I'll take you all on!
Burning Fury! Burning Strike! Glacial Spear!
It's over!
Here's going!
Elusive Deity!
Freeze Lancer! This one's mine! Here's a healing light!
Resonate with the
First
earth!
aid!
Stalagmite!
Confiscate!
Take
This
this!
one's mine!
Armor won't save
Ready
you!
to go! Downfall!
Far enough!
All in order.
So that's how a lord fights.
I don't perform as well when I'm observed.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear you say that.
This one's
Silver
mine!
Blade!
Take this!
Lift on!
Tiger Blade!
Ignite!
Mega Ray!
Take this! Try harder! My turn! Stardust! Resonate with the earth!
Stalagmite!
You're mine!
Make it right! Very well! Astral energy! Full throttle! There! One more! This one's mine!
Take this!
Tiger Blade! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malachum! Good to know my training is paying off.
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
yourselves! This one! Tough!
Mega Ray! I never miss!
Look sharp!
Take this!
By the power of water! Time is done! Annihilation! Here goes!
Resonate with the earth!
Don't mind if I do.
I have
Here,
no
let me help.
limits!
Look sharp!
Dragon form!
Take this!
Mega
Do
Tiger
it,
Claw!
Blade!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed wall.
This one's mine!
Burn in hell!
I can handle it!
Double demon
Denied!
Dragon
Now or never,
Fury!
that's
Burning!
I'll grind you into dust!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Look sharp!
Here I come!
Tiger Blade!
Here!
Can you take it?
This one's mine!
Elusive deity!
This one's mine! One more!
Tornado drive!
On guard!
Elusive deity!
Ready to flash!
Resonate with the earth!
Annihilation!
On your I can carve through
Look
armor!
sharp! Let them
Take
look!
this!
Look sharp!
Air pressure!
Don't mind if I do.
On guard! Take it! And again! Look sharp! Do it!
Elusive deity!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished! With your flames and my technique,
We're stronger together than we are apart.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldomenencia of its enemies and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menencia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag-Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you? Take this!
This one's mine!
You picked the wrong fight!
One more!
Now, while it's reeling!
Let's take it down! That's it! Tiger
Who the
Blade!
hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Take this!
Going in!
Take this!
Clary left!
Now you see what I can do!
This one's
On
mine!
your knees!
By the power of I'll heal you all! This one's here!
Take this.
I never
Don't leave me all alone here.
Enjoy it.
Ready to go! Time to step on guard! Take this! Dream! Going in!
I'm not done yet!
Take it!
Heal!
Tiger Blade! I'm all stuck
Enjoy
up!
it.
Resonate with the earth!
This one's mine!
Try harder!
Here's evil! Time to shine! Here's a healing eye! Look sharp!
Enjoy your ease.
Go here! Air pressure! I can carve through water!
Going in! Here, let me help! Ready! Far enough!
Burn in hell!
Show me your strength.
Hitting pile driver!
Take this!
Look sharp!
Benediction.
Flaming meteor!
Is this it? I couldn't make it in time.
Look sharp! Ready!
Fool.
Elusive deity!
Take this.
Hitting pile
Where
driver!
are you going?
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love resuscitation!
Searing flame!
On your knees! Air pressure!
Try harder! My turn!
Here.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love resuscitation! Take this!
Take this.
I'll smash you!
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine. Really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest. Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain. But you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Are we in the right place? This place looks like a mess.
Yes, this is Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar.
I don't see any signs of people. And the buildings.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of place people would actually live.
No soldiers, no Danans, not a soul to be seen. Yet look at these facades. This is clearly a Renin district.
Hey, check out that drawing on the castle gate. That's the Darkwing's crest. It's from an old Danan legend about a hero who defeated an evil king with a torch and their trusty owl. That's his crest. I'm sure of it.
Really? First time I'm hearing it. So if someone drew it on the gate...
It must mean the Renins have lost control of the city.
Are you suggesting the Danans rose up and defeated the Lord here? Hard to believe, but not entirely unthinkable, given the evidence.
Let's look around and see if we can find someone. They might be able to tell us what happened. This is horrible.
Is there truly no one here?
All of these ruins look like they were made pretty recently.
But if that's the case, then where do you think the people that used to live here went off to? There must have been Danans and Renins, right?
That's a good question. Even if the Danans rebelled and managed to overthrow the Renins here, there should still be some people around.
This debris... Do you think it could be the work of Renin astral arts?
Perhaps, but the appearance of these ruins is rather uniform, which leads me to believe otherwise.
Hey, Rinwell. That story you told us about the Dark Wings. It said that the evil king was vanquished with a holy flame, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then there might be some truth to that old story after all. It looks like all the rubble here had been scarred by flames.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. If we can find someone around here, we might be able to get them to tell us what happened. Dohalim, you forgot to take care of the fire yesterday.
What do you mean, take care of? Ah, yes. You meant to put it out?
Yep. If it stays lit, we could end up in real trouble real fast.
I see. I apologize for not realizing that. I shall be more careful in the future.
The way he's talking, it's like the thought of putting it out himself never even occurred to him.
Moving on, Dohalim, I should mention that the clasp for your cape is about to come undone.
Oh yes, I tried to fix that myself, but it simply refused to cooperate with me.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. Are you telling me Renins can't even dress themselves?
Lords like Dohalim have attendants that take care of just about everything they need, so I'm not surprised he sometimes struggles with the basics.
Even by those standards, you've got to admit this is still a little extreme.
Shion has got a point. I mean, you don't see Renans like her needing so much help to get stuff done.
In my case, circumstances forced me to learn how to be independent. Even so, I still think Dohalim could afford to pick up a few more self-sufficient skills.
Well, specifically speaking, what would you suggest that I learn?
For starters, I think it'd be good for you to learn how to dress. And put on shoes. How to comb your hair is equally important. And learning to manage your possessions better. And then from there...
She sounds like his mom rattling all that off.
Oh, and another thing. About your owl, Rinwell.
What is it?
When he starts to molt, would you be willing to give me his old feathers? I think I could find a use for them.
What do you intend to do with those?
Well, recently, I haven't been sleeping well. However, I hear pillows made from owl feathers are very comfortable and wish to make one.
This is why I hate you, Renans!
Did I say something offensive?
Next time, put your own needs aside for a second and think about how someone might react first. Then consider if it's worth asking at all.